I really wanted to start the new year on a good note.
Yeah.
I can't.
Why?
Because I've been harboring something ever since our last episode. Which is, do you remember the question I asked the people the last time?
Their favorite hike?
Yeah. And do you remember what I said mine was? Okay, it was the favorite coastal hike. So I said my favorite coastal hike was Cape Split.
Yeah.
And I said, hey guys, this is what I think. What do you guys think is the best coastal hike in Nova Scotia? And boy, did I get a lot of responses. Everyone had something to say about me picking Cape Split as the best coastal hike in Nova Scotia. And that's fair. Like, I'll even admit it's not really the best coastal hike at all.
No.
It has a really cool feature at the end, but like it's not a pure coastal hike.
No, the hike itself is kind of boring.
And I'm sorry, like it shouldn't be in that category. That's fair. But the large majority of people had no problem saying you're wrong for liking that. But I like you said, maybe one response offering another hike.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask this again. I would like to know your favorite coastal hike, internet. And it doesn't matter what mine is. I want to know yours. And you know what? I think people won't say it because they're cowards.
Okay, that's a little strong.
No, because here's the deal. Because now I'm upset. Because
I'm upset.
I shared my opinion with the internet.
You did.
And I think that I think that that I call them cowards because they're too scared to say what they think, and they're scared of people doing to them what they did to me. Well, guess what? Hurt people hurt people. So I'm gonna leave you with that. Please let me know what hike you like, for God's sake. How was your holidays other than that?
What do you mean other than that?
Sorry.
That wasn't even holiday.
It ruined my holidays.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't able to be present with my family. The whole time people were like, why are you drinking so much? Yeah, it was a whole thing. And we were talking about New Year's resolutions, which I know some people have them, some people don't.
Do you?
Yeah, you know what? I heard something really interesting recently.
Yeah.
Which is basically, because before I was very much on the side of like, it's very trivial because it is just a random point in time. Like there's no reason why you have to start resolutions at New Year's, which I agree with. But I saw something where someone said basically it's a time of year where life really does slow down. You kind of take a step back for a moment. I think because of that, you do tend to reflect more and think about the past year. Yeah. So I think from that perspective, it's like, yeah, obviously you're going to
make some changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have a couple. I mean, okay, so my main one is that I really want to get better in the kitchen.
Yes.
I want to elevate my meals a little bit more. I get a lot of feedback at work from other people in my life who they're basically just like, you're just going to eat a raw block of tofu today, eh? And I'm like, yep.
Yeah, I should probably learn to make some better food.
Just like a little bit. Like I'm not like nothing fancy. Just like, not
put a little seasoning and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to be better in the kitchen. I think that's a big one for me this year.
That's a good one.
Do you have a resolution though?
No, I don't believe in resolutions, except for maybe one, which I thought about yesterday. And that is to eat more pasta. Because the one thing I thought about yesterday when I was looking at something is that I barely eat pasta this year. And that's not a way to live. So if I have to have one resolution, it's to eat more noodles.
I mean, I do really like that our resolutions go really well hand in hand.
But I feel like a lot of people are like, no more noodles. And I'm like,
more noodles, please.
More noodles.
Yeah. If you need noodles.
Yeah. Other than that, no. Don't do those.
I have a whole rant about food, but I won't do that.
In your notes?
No, not in my notes, just in my head.
Oh, in your head. What is it?
Well, it's just the whole thing where it's like the best diets are things you don't consider diets because they just feel normal and sustainable to you.
Yeah.
And everyone has a different version of that. And I don't think it's good to cut food out. I think you just have to enjoy things in moderation, because everything has a time and a place.
Like noodles.
I
have a place every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got me really hooked on gnocchi.
Yeah.
I didn't really realize how good it was. I think we had gnocchi in a couple of camp dishes.
And it wasn't even good.
No, but it was like, I think every time we've had it, it's been on colder trips, like overnighters.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like warm, fluffy carbs.
Yes.
It's so good.
Oh, I should make gnocchi here. Yes, okay.
Okay, so more gnocchi.
And noodles in general.
Okay, so really our resolutions boil down to me cooking more gnocchi and then you eating more of it that I cooked.
Yeah.
Therefore.
Yeah.
I think we can do that. Well, speaking of holidays.
Yes.
And the giving season.
Yeah.
I got many wonderful gifts.
Yes.
And obviously the holidays aren't about that. They're about seeing people and quality time with people you love. But I can say I definitely did that.
And you got gifts?
Yeah. And I feel like I can say that that's the most important thing to me.
The gifts?
No, spending quality time with family.
Oh, okay.
Because I got so many great gifts. Because if I hadn't got so many great gifts, I probably would have been like, what the hell, guys?
Oh.
And that would have ruined the time with my family because they're all traders.
Yes.
But I got a lot of great gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a favorite gift you got?
No, I love all of them equally.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
That means it wasn't one for me.
I love all of them equally.
Well, I got a lot of really cool gifts, and I got a overwhelming amount, in a good way, of local interest books.
Yeah.
So, which is great for us. I don't know if that was the intention if people were thinking of the podcast, but I got a lot of really good local content.
The books that I got you.
You weren't thinking of the podcast? Well, that's crazy because we're going to use a book you got me for
today's
episode. Yeah. So today's episode comes from Ghost Islands of Nova Scotia by Mike Parker.
Given by Svea.
And this is a truly, truly fantastic book.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Really good because it has. So when I think about the book I'm writing and what I enjoy the most in our podcast, this is what I love because it has a lot of fact, right? It has a lot of true history, real things that happened, real people.
Okay.
But then it goes into different things like ghost stories, different folklore things around islands, which is like my favorite part about this, right?
Yeah.
You have the true stuff, then you have the not true stuff, which is the fun stuff. So everything we're going to talk about comes from this book.
Okay.
This episode is pretty much a retelling of one of the chapters. I changed it a little bit to make it more readable for me. This book, Ghost Islands of Nova Scotia, Mike Parker. By the way, look at the mustache on Mike.
Wait, so what was your favorite gift? He has a very nice mustache.
It's a great mustache. Honestly, I think the mug you made me.
Okay. Moving on then.
So this book. So it features several different local islands.
Yeah.
And it goes into the history of each island.
Okay.
So I was skimming through this.
Yeah.
Because there's actually a few islands in here that I could have done an episode on.
Because you've been to them?
Yeah.
Or is this another one? I saw it.
Okay, so that's the point I was getting to. The island we're going to talk about, I haven't been to.
So you're a traitor.
But.
Yeah.
Which I know breaks the theme of the podcast a little bit. Because the whole thing is we talk about places we go to. We all know that.
That's okay.
But this island, while I haven't been there, many of our adventures have brought us very close to it. And it's something I've always been a little bit captivated by. So I figured what better time to talk about this than now, which I know you by the confused look on your face. You have no idea.
What area?
Cape Breton.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
So today I'm going to tell you some history and some stories behind St. Paul Island.
Why did I just was going to see that?
Because so I have a few YouTube videos where I mentioned St. Paul Island.
Maybe that's why I was like, why do I think it's St. Paul Island?
Yeah, so like I remember our Cape Breton trip, like our last fall trip. We pulled over on the side of the road on the way to Meat Cove, and
St. Paul Island.
And I started yapping in the car about St. Paul Island.
That's why.
That's why it was in your head, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's I have this obsession with the North.
Yeah.
And being far north and things that exist in the north. And St. Paul Island is the northernmost point of Nova Scotia.
Really?
Yep. So while it's not connected to the mainland or Cape Breton, it's part of the province. So it's technically the northernmost point, even though it's an island offshore. So
yeah, because the northernmost community is Meat Cove.
Yes, that's correct.
Yep. That's community. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the early 1900s, it would have been St. Paul.
Oh, okay.
There was a time where it was a bustling little place.
Really?
Yeah. So you want to get into all that right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So, measuring 3 miles long and 1 mile wide, it lies approximately 24 kilometers northeast of Cape North, making it the northernmost point in Nova Scotia. Located in the Cabot Strait at the entrance of the Gulf of St. Lawrence, this island is a rugged but beautiful place. Her shores are completely encircled by cliffs, and inland, among the windswept balsam firs, you'll find 2 lakes stocked with trout and countless birds who call this protected area home. The most notable of which is an at-risk species called Bicknell's thrush.
That's not true.
It is. They're really cute.
That's not true, Bert.
And also, this island is technically an extension of the Cape Breton Highlands.
Okay.
So we must talk a little bit about the island's high points. There are 2 mountains on the island.
Yeah.
And the highest of which is in the south. It's called Croghan's Mountain, and it tops out at 147 meters.
Okay.
That's all.
Oh.
And the last little thing about the island itself is that there's a 150-foot wide channel separating the northern tip of the island from the rest of it.
Okay.
So it's technically like you have the main island here, then a tiny little island right above it.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk more about that channel later.
Okay.
Because this island also has a very dark history. There are more than 350 shipwrecks that lie in the waters off of St. Paul Island. In some cases, vessels are literally stacked on the bottom of the ocean floor, with the skeleton of one interspersed with another. And speaking of bones, more than 1,000 shipwrecked victims who either drowned and washed ashore or survived only to later perish from starvation and exposure are believed to be buried in unmarked mass graves on the island.
Oh, so it's very haunted.
All of this has given this island the well-deserved nickname Graveyard of the Gulf. Those familiar with local folklore might say that that name sounds familiar. Well, you might be thinking of Sable Island, which has the name Graveyard of the Atlantic. But our Graveyard of the Gulf differs from Graveyard of the Atlantic in one important aspect. Beginning in January, drift ice, driven by strong currents coming out of the Gulf of St. Lawrence, built up around the island, effectively isolating the island, and in the distant past, this will cut off any hope of rescue for shipwreck survivors trapped there. All too often, heartbroken mainlanders could only watch helplessly as distant signal fires on St. Paul burned bright and then eventually disappeared. This was a telltale sign that spring burial parties would again be busy gathering the winter's dead. In 1829, Captain John Lambley, who was Quebec's harbor master at the time, described it as probably the most dangerous island to shipping that is to be found on the coast of British America. It has been the scene of innumerable wrecks since the first settlement of the colonies, many perhaps, most of which are only told by relics strewn upon the rocks. A lighthouse wasn't built until the sinking of the Jessie on January 1st, 1825. What made her loss noteworthy was the slow, torturous demise of the survivors, some of whom lived for nearly 3 months on the island before succumbing to starvation and exposure. All of their suffering was documented in a diary later found by a burial party, written by the ship's owner, Donald McKay, who also perished.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it's a brutal way to go.
Yeah.
Just freezing to death on an island.
Well, and starving.
Yeah. That's actually probably the worst part.
Yeah.
I would resort to cannibalism way too fast.
We're going to move on.
Still, it wasn't until 1831 that a lighthouse was finally built on the South Point. A year later, the New Brunswick government established a life-saving station on one side of the island in Trinity Bay. Simultaneously, Nova Scotia set one up in Atlantic Cove on the opposite side of the island. Neither government was aware of what the other was doing, and since there were no passable roads or trails at the time, life-saving crews patrolled their respective coastlines for several weeks before discovering the other's existence.
That's so funny.
Because this island isn't big.
Yeah.
Like I said, 1 mile wide by 3 miles long.
And they're like, who knows that there's somebody else out here? How do you not know that somebody's building a gigantic lighthouse?
So, sorry, they weren't building lighthouses yet. They were building like life-saving stations.
Oh, life-saving stations.
Yeah. So,
but didn't you see them a lighthouse?
Yeah. So a lighthouse was built a year prior to these life-saving stations. So that was already there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. A second lighthouse was later erected on the northern point in 1839. So remember that channel?
Yeah.
So you have the main island here, the channel right above it, and then the northernmost point of the island above the channel.
Yeah.
Separate from the rest of the island.
Yes.
And it's on that separate piece of land. That's where the lighthouse was built.
Okay.
And so in the early 1900s, they actually built a suspension bridge connecting the two.
Oh, that's fun.
Shortly after construction, the bridge collapsed.
Oh.
Yep. And the bridge itself was replaced by a single cable going across.
Yeah.
And there was a box attached to the cable. So you could put people or supplies in the box and they would pull.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. But then there was one time where they neglected to check the qualities of the cables.
Yeah.
And two men went across in the box.
Oh.
And it fell into the ocean.
Yeah.
One person managed to swim to shore and the other was swept out to sea, never to be seen again.
Oh.
Yeah.
The sirens, I tell you.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah.
Would you rather drown or freeze or starve to death?
Drown.
No.
What do you mean no?
Because I want, if I'm going to go in one of those ways, I want to like have time to sit and think. And just really connect with you know, nature before I go.
For what purpose?
I think you can make that peaceful. Drowning's not peaceful.
Starvation.
Have you ever talked to someone who's died from drowning?
Well, no, because they're dead.
Yeah. Well, drowning hurts because like the feeling of like water going in your lungs and suffocating.
But starvation, you're gonna hallucinate.
That's fun. Well, by the time the early 1900s came around, St. Paul Island was actually somewhat of a happening place. A wireless operator who lived on the island at the time, named Carl Rigby, wrote, "With the life-saving crew at Atlantic Cove, lightkeepers with their families established permanently both at the northeastern point and southwest point, and a lobster canning factory at Trinity Cove on the west side of the island, employing some 50 of the mainland folk." They didn't like commas back then. Employing some 50 of the mainland folk through several months of each year, the island took on a rather active life.
Okay.
It had many of the characteristics of mainland civilization, even boasting a school, a post office, and a telegraph office, as well as a regular mail service. Many dances were held in those quote-unquote good old days. Very often, the dancing broke off early in the evening to be followed by a game of tucker, for which the music was... I tried so hard to figure out what tucker was. I don't know what it is.
Maybe somebody can tell us.
Yeah, if you know what tucker is, please fill us in. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out. But whatever it is, it uses music.
Okay.
Because the music for tucker was provided by the Northeast lighthouse keeper and his violin. Well, today,
Maybe it's like musical chairs.
Oh, you think? Oh.
Music?
Yeah.
Game? I don't know.
Today, St. Paul Island lies abandoned. The cannery went out of business in 1920, turning Trinity Cove into a ghost town from which nothing remains. As marine technology and navigation improved, the life-saving stations became obsolete and closed in 1925. When everything was said and done, they were in service for 93 years.
Oh, wow. It's a long time.
Yeah, almost a century in service. Mm-hmm. The next to go was the wireless station, who closed its doors in 1956. And finally, last was the lighthouse keepers. Following automation, the Southwest Station was destaffed in 1960 and the Northeast Lighthouse in 1991.
Okay. Wait, so people lived there till 1991?
You would just have like seasonal lighthouse keepers. Okay. Yeah. Well, as you can imagine, such a small island that has so many deaths and tragedies around it.
Yeah.
Must have its fair share of strange goings on.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, you'd stand to be true and corrected. It's true.
I don't need to be corrected because I'm correct.
That's correct. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Kate Redmond spent time there in the early 1900s and recounted the following for a Cape Breton magazine article named Remembering St. Paul Island. When I was 3 or 4, I went out to St. Paul. It was very desolate. People used to tell stories of people who died on St. Paul's. And that's, I'm going to say St. Paul's here a lot. It's St. Paul Island, but she calls it St. Paul's.
Okay.
So just clarify that. I don't know if my older sister made them up, that there were money hunters and they dig them up and take the rings off people's hands.
Oh,
pirates. As in the people in the mass graves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, modern day pirate.
Yeah.
No. There was a funny thing that happened when I was very young. You see, there was no minister out there. In the summertime, a student minister would come out. Mama used to have Sunday school on Sunday afternoon. She'd invite all the people on the island, and they'd read the Bible and sing. We had an old-fashioned organ. This afternoon, after Sunday school, we were all sitting around, and the wind opened the front door. And then there was the most beautiful music you ever heard, just like a choir. The voices came in, and we all looked around. There was no radio or anything back then, you know. And Mama said, "Oh, I've heard that often." Mama used to go for walks in the woods, and she would often hear that music playing. Which is really interesting because, you know, if you think the island's haunted by the ghosts of people who died in shipwrecks, where does the music come in?
Where is the music? I know, I had that thought too. Yeah. But if it's like a choir, they could be singing.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're like out there shipwrecked, you might like sing and stuff.
Yeah, keep your spirits up.
Yeah.
Yeah. A gentleman named Billy Budge lived on, great name by the way, Billy Budge. Billy Budge lived on St. Paul from 1955 to 1960 when his father Fred tended to the Southwest Lighthouse. In 2003, Billy published an account of those childhood years in his highly entertaining, informative book, Memoirs of a Lightkeeper's Son. The following excerpt tells of a ghostly visit that under normal circumstances would make even the most stout of heart take flight. But on St. Paul, there was nowhere to go.
Oh my gosh, ew.
Well, this is what he wrote. Whether or not our place was haunted, the stage was set for the superstitious when the house was built in 1916, writes Billy. During construction, builders claimed to have unearthed human bones while excavating for the basement. This was highly probable because of the many unmarked mass graves of shipwreck victims on the island. A few hundred feet to the west of where our house was built, the survivors of the shipwreck, the Jessie, which we mentioned earlier, made their makeshift shelter. That's a tongue twister. Mm-hmm. Made their makeshift shelter only to starve to death during the winter of 1825. It would be no surprise if the bodies of these victims rested in the area that later became the basement of our house. There were no obvious defects in the doors of our house, and due to the severe weather we experienced, Dad inspected them regularly. All the knobs functioned correctly. When doors were closed, each bolt slipped securely into the recess of the jamb. None of our inside doors could be properly opened without someone first turning the knob. Neither the winter gales that whistled around the outside, nor the strong gusts of air that rattled the dishes in the cupboard were ever successful in opening one single door. But on calm, quiet evenings, doors would start to open. The basement door was usually the first.
Oh, creepy.
We would hear the creaking of hinges, followed by the thud when the door came to a rest against the adjacent wall. It was not a frequent event, but it happened often enough that my mother noticed a specific timing. The door always opened at 8 in the evening.
Oh.
I know. I got chills just reading that.
Yeah.
Someone would close the door, but Dad would usually find it open when he came downstairs in the morning to light the fire. Several of our inside doors were always kept closed when not in use. Yet many times, my father found them all open in the morning, as if our home had been invaded by some unwelcome visitor during the night. The outside doors always remained closed. There were other unsettling nocturnal events in addition to the unexplained door openings. Sometimes in the middle of the night, sounds like pieces of wood being thrown at the side of the house interrupted our sleep. We tried to determine the cause of these strange thumping sounds, but never came up with an explanation. My father's inability to explain or eliminate these mysterious sounds exacerbated my mother's fears. Billy tells of an eventful night, one year at Christmas, when his parents heard noises in the living room after everyone had gone to bed. It was the distinctive sound of ornaments falling off the tree and tiny bells rolling across the floor.
Oh, that's creepy.
Nothing to worry about or worth getting up to check on, they said.
I think it is.
There was, however, a slight problem. When Billy's father came down in the morning, things were the same as when the family had gone to bed.
Oh.
Yeah, so they heard all the noises and there was nothing going on.
Oh my God, that's even worse.
I know. What would you do here? Are you getting off the island?
Yes.
Just leaving?
I would have left a long time ago, but yes, I would have never joined this island. What about you?
I don't think things like that would happen to me because I wanted too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be like too morbidly curious.
Yeah.
I don't think people who want things that badly, I don't think it happens to them. No. It's like a cat, the cat always goes, wait, that's a horrible example. No, wait, that's a good example. Because cats tend to gravitate towards people who don't want to pet them.
Yeah.
Same deal, I think, hypothetically. It was fortunate for my mother that he came downstairs alone. There were no ornaments on the floor and no sign of any broken bells anywhere in the house. Whatever it was, Mom would never know the truth about the Christmas tree or the ornaments until after we had moved from St. Paul Island. At the time, Dad simply claimed that he had picked up the bells and redecorated the tree after he returned from the lighthouse. Mm-hmm. Smart dad.
Yeah.
I would do that for you.
Would you? I wouldn't believe you, but that's cute that you would do that.
So next time you're exploring the beautiful northern reaches of Cape Breton Island, take a moment to glance out over the sea. If the weather is fair, you'll see St. Paul Island like a ghost on the horizon. It's fascinating to sit there and think of everything that took place on its shores over the years. But today, it lies uninhabited, other than the rabbits, the birds, and maybe even a couple ghosts.
And if you want a little glimpse, it's in your video, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
And your Mountains of Nova Scotia YouTube video.
Yeah. So it's, if you do want to check out the video, it's in our last little fall Cape Breton hiking trip. Yeah, we talk about the island. I said, there it is. And it's really cool.
And then that was it.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then
so that's as close as we ever got to it.
Yeah, that's as close as I want to get.
After all these stories.
Yeah, no, I don't want to get
You wouldn't go on a day trip?
God, no.
There's a really cool abandoned mansion on it.
Nope. Did you not just hear all the things that happen on this island?
Check that out. That's what's left.
That's kind of cool.
It's
in
so
a very
cool.
Haunted way.
Yeah, because it's just this little island all the way out there.
But look, there's dead people in there.
100%. And that's actually, I think that's really the only structure left.
Yeah.
Because like I said, there was a time where there was a lot more, but all the buildings were tore down by the government.
Yeah. I see. This one should be too.
Who knows what's calling that home these days? I would love to go see that though.
We should write to the people.
Oh yeah.
No, to tear it down.
We should go. Let's do the tour.
And get murdered?
No, they're not so cool. They're not going to murder you out there.
The ghosts? The ocean will.
These are No, this is a professional boat touring company. They know what they're doing.
Until the sirens get you.
If I was a siren, I'd go for you.
Okay.
That's all I got. You get anything?
10 out of 10 gift.
It's a great gift.
Yeah.
Well, because you got me this because you go home to London, Ontario for the holidays, and I stay here in Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
And I guess it's an Icelandic tradition.
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. Maybe it's not an Icelandic. Can you Google it first?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I read, but who knows if it's true.
Iceland book tradition. Where books are given on Christmas Eve.
Okay, yeah. So I read this thing because I got a lot of cozy content on my Instagram and a lot of Icelandic stuff for some reason. But one of the things was that apparently on Christmas Eve, they gift each other gift books and then they spend the whole evening reading by candles and stuff. And that sounds so cozy. And I had this book that I wanted to give you anyways. So I was like, that'd be cozy, even if you don't read it at that time. But yeah.
It was a wonderful gift.
Yeah.
So again, all the information I basically read, essentially, if you guys like what you heard, I basically read right out of this book. So if you like what you heard, you should track this down and get yourself a copy because it's a really good read.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still at bookstores.
Yeah, 100%. If not, library. It's free.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, it's good to be back doing this with you. I missed it.
Yeah,
this is fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks time with another story.
Just skip it to the next month. Okay.
Okay. Always remember, folks.
The more footsteps.
The more folklore.
Bye.
Bye.